Hello friends! Today I would like to share episode 1 in a 2-part series of our bedroom makeover. In this episode we will follow the evolution of this room from 2019 to 2025. Then in episode 2 we will go shopping and style the room. In 2019 we began with the obvious by replacing the ancient carpet and freshly painting the walls and ceiling in a nice creamy color with one light blue accent wall. We also took the opportunity to reshelve and freshly paint the closet. Matt and I share this one reach-in closet, so it's imperative that the storage works very well. If you notice that odd-looking patch to the right on our accent wall, that is where the original intercom system used to be from the 60s. Anyway, our idea for this wall is to have a backdrop that looks like sky, and on it we will put our collection of vintage paintings. Back in 2019, DIY projects and makeovers were still pretty new to us, so tackling pad and carpet was a bit of a stretch. I also had never purchased curtains before, so these ended up being too short and not what I had in mind. We found the antique cannonball bed on OfferUp and then hung all of our artwork. We were satisfied at this point with where our bedroom was and enjoyed this for a couple of years. Waking up every morning and going to sleep each night with these beautiful mountain and shoreside paintings was delightful. Then in 2021, we were ready for a few more changes. We went bolder with our accent wall and chose a darker shade of blue. We gave away one of our paintings, sold another one, and bought a new one with a ship on it. For furniture, we made a trade and swapped the tall French provincial chest of drawers for a long, low, federal-style dresser in a dark finish. And we added one of the wingbacks for seating. We also upgraded the original cheap hollow core closet doors with the broken mirror with these paneled bifold doors. Lastly, we replaced the dark, heavy, low-hanging ceiling fan with this white light one that seems to disappear. Everything else in the room remained pretty much the same. We had a good amount of time to live in the room, study what we like, think about what we wanted to change. I find that this approach is a good one, especially if you don't have a clear design direction, which for this room, I didn't really have one. I just knew we liked blue and white, very calm and serene, and we loved our paintings. In between the last layer of making this room over and what you're looking at now, we also remodeled that little tiny bathroom you got a peek of. Oh yes, and we did swap the cannonball bed for this French headboard, which I thrifted for less than $5. I believe furniture layout was probably the thing that bugged us the most. Obviously, that hole to the right of the bed didn't make a lot of sense, and there was nowhere for your book at night or a lamp to read by. I also was ready to change out the curtains. I really believe these were actually shower curtains and not curtains when I ordered them off Amazon. Did not know that they were plastic or shiny. Fast forward to 2025 and some design inspiration from Pinterest and other sources on the internet. In particular, I love this light and airy English-inspired bedroom by Kathy Kincaid. I love all of the different patterns, but how everything seems to be very finished and polished. Another gorgeous bedroom by Kathy Kincaid with beautiful beams and a good country feeling. Kathy Kincaid is known for what she calls her dressmaker details, and they really do make all the difference. As you may suspect, those blue and white platters and plates over the headboard in this bedroom by Miss Mustard Seed immediately caught my eye. I also liked the padded upholstered headboard and the beautiful antique dresser that she was using as a nightstand. But my favorite bedroom of all is this one by Tessa Foley of 9 and 16. The colors, the furniture, the blue and white, the artwork, the gorgeous wallpaper making a subtle backdrop. There is just something about this mixture that she's created that gives the perfect English country house feeling. In the world of drapes, I wasn't sure whether I was going to do a blue and white print or a plain white with possibly a blue wall. I really loved this curtain rod though. Do you see how it curves back into the wall? This is called a French return, and it's just so elegant. I did want to capitalize on the idea used by both Miss Mustard Seed and Tessa Foley of using antique dressers for nightstands on either side of the bed. I love that it's a good height for the bed and for reading at night, but also it gives something substantial to balance the size of the bed itself. These chests of drawers that you're seeing here are all called Eastlake. They are from the Victorian era. I love them and have been finding many options on Marketplace. For seating, I would like something a little less upright than the wingback and a little more loungy like this English rolled arm chair, but I'm having a hard time finding something like that at an affordable price. I will keep the blue and white color scheme, and I plan to find some pillows for our bed. I'd also like to upgrade the hardware on our closet doors to these beautiful brass ones. We've used these elsewhere in the house, and I love how they feel. Okay, those are all the fun inspiration pictures and kind of the ideas that are milling about in my head. Now it's time to get started. This time we decided to go with a completely serene color scheme and no accent wall. So here we are priming that wall and getting ready to paint the entire room. And during the process, we played around with furniture placement. I brought my desk in here, and there's a little peek of something I might have found in the corner over there. I'm sure you noticed the broken blind, and this old antique sewing machine we have had, the sewing machine side table, we have had for years, and it fits really well space-wise, and it's a good height. So this is where we're starting from. Let's get painting. It took several coats to cover that dark blue wall, and as you can see, the first one was kind of a beige that we just had on hand. Then we're cutting it in with a primer, and then the final color will go on top of that. For this room, I decided to go with a beautiful creamy white color called Snowbound by Sherwin-Williams. What I didn't realize until later is that in direct sunlight, it has just the slightest pink undertone, and I really like it. If you've been around, you've probably heard me say this before, but once we decide on a project, it is really hard to get ahead of Matt before he has something completely done. This little bit of wall was all that was left to demonstrate our painting with. It was what was behind the desk. So I was like, wait, stop, I need to catch some film. For the windows, we are planning to use 2 window treatments to give a really complete look, as well as giving us some good room darkening options that we would really appreciate. Okay, so I know you don't need to see curtains coming down. We all know how this works, but I just have to say, I disliked these curtains so much that it was quite satisfying to record them coming down. And next, the blinds that, yes, I broke. Also, if you've been around the channel for a while, you would be familiar with the bamboo blinds that we've used in the kitchen, dining room, and living room makeovers. These blinds are absolutely gorgeous. They're easy to use, they hold up well, and they add beautiful natural texture to your windows. When they're closed, the natural lighting filtering through is so beautiful. They are easy to install, and as you can see here, Matt first screwed the brackets on either side. The blind simply slides onto the bracket, and then you use one of those little spinner nuts, I think they're called, to hold them in place. The part he's holding up there is a little faux valance, so that all the fittings and inner workings of the blind are completely concealed once it's installed. The other thing I really like about these blinds is that they are completely cordless, so they're safe if you have children or pets. For those of you who are interested, I'll leave a link below. A delightful surprise that came along during the makeover was a gift from a friend of mine of a double pair of fully lined white linen pinch pleat drapes. And I am so excited. Not only is this my favorite style of drape, they're incredibly high quality, but also they helped me to solve my design dilemma of printed curtains or white curtains. Remember that French return curtain rod that I shared in the inspiration pictures? Well, I found one on Amazon and the little brass hooks and clips. I am so excited to see how this is going to turn out. It is definitely, as far as the drapes go, way beyond what we would have purchased. And I'm so grateful to my friend for giving them to me. We've chosen to hang the drapes as high as possible and wide to make the window look bigger and the room look taller. And I must say, I think really the drapes are probably the single thing that elevates this room the most. Both the rod and these hooks will be linked for you down below. As you can see, it is extremely simple to get these curtains hung. And they just look so beautiful. Here I've got them pulled back so you can see the blind, but here they are, hanging partially closed. So elegant. Yes, they are a bit long, but I plan to rehem them. Another detail that we wanted to upgrade was the hardware to the bedroom door. We had replaced these back in 2019, but as you can see, they have not held up. They don't work. The door doesn't lock, and they're just very cheap. This gives us an opportunity to upgrade, but also I know now that I like a brass finish much more than chrome or nickel. Here's the new door set. I just love it. Not only do I like the crystal doorknob, but I also like that the back plate is larger than the one before. This does mean that we had to go in and drill the holes bigger, but Matt had this really handy little clamp that slid onto the door, providing a perfect template to drill the bigger holes. Not only is this door set a higher quality, but I also feel like that it goes with the style of the moldings on the door that we have throughout the entire house. And since this video, we have replaced more of the doorknobs with this style. It's just lovely. Here is Matt demonstrating how smoothly the knobs work from both sides and the fact that it does lock. Here is another glimpse of my favorite room from the inspiration pictures, and what I'm drawing from here is that antique chest of drawers beside the bed. We do have this long, low dresser, but it's just too big, so I put it on Marketplace and sold it for $250. And I browsed around and found that I really liked the Eastlake style, and there were some at good prices. At an antique shop, this one was $245, but the top had several large cracks in the marble, so I kept looking. Then one happy day, this stunning Eastlake dresser showed up on Marketplace. It needed a little bit of work to make it more functional. It has a fascinating family history story, which I will share with you in the next episode. That includes a story in the newspapers almost 100 years ago, so be sure to subscribe. Thank you, friends, for following along from inspiration to DIY projects as we have brought this bedroom to something a little bit closer to what you would see in an English country house. I can't wait to show you the final reveal from our shopping and styling. Until next time, take care.